Hi, George here. I was going to be talking about how to do an image to go along with your best customer avatar, but I ran into a problem here in Gemini that I thought it was important to talk about. And that's that Gemini can make mistakes. Same thing with ChatGPT, that can also make mistakes. So it's always good to carefully watch that and just double check what you're doing, make sure you don't have any of those things happen. Now, this one I found just a bit amusing. And again, it gives me a good opportunity to have this discussion. Now, what I was planning on doing, let me just show you this. I was taking my custom avatar sheet. This is my standard custom avatar I came up with to match my Photoshop Elements channel. And it's pretty good. I still wanted to go ahead and use this to demonstrate how to get a picture out of Gemini to go along with your customer avatar sheet. And that's where I hit a problem. Now, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing a lot of pictures here inside of Gemini. And this time it came back up with this. And I just asked it to give me a basic avatar portrait image for my best customer based on the PDF. It had no problem reading the PDF. That's fine. But it gave me this. I'm sorry, but I cannot create an avatar portrait image based on the provided customer avatar sheet. However, I can give you a detailed description of the customer based upon information. And it just simply copied out the information from the PDF and gave it back to me here as text, which is not what I asked for. So I thought maybe the problem was that I had an actual name up here. Maybe that was confusing it. There may be filters in there to block you from trying to get pictures of an actual person. So I changed my request down here to give me a generic portrait for this type of person. And it said, since I cannot generate images, I give you a detailed textual description of a generic person who fits this profile, which is nice, which is useful. But this is where the problem was right there, since I cannot generate images. And of course, I've been doing images in here for months. So I knew that this was wrong. So I decided to pursue this a bit further. I'll keep this. This is interesting stuff. I'll come down here. And I asked it, when did you stop generating images? You just gave me an image for an earlier discussion today, which is true. I just made one about 4 hours ago. Then it comes down here. Thanks for a great question. I apologize for the confusing experience. As of my current configuration, I cannot generate or create images directly. There it goes. It says that again. Now, I know that this is not true. And if you think about this and come down here, it's a real small type at the very, very bottom of the page. Right down there, it does say Gemini can make mistakes. So double check it. And what I found with this is Gemini will decide on what the correct answer is, and it's going to stick to that no matter what. Even if what it says is not true, it's going to stick with the answer that it decided to give you. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at anything that's actually more important. This is not. And I'll show you something very amusing about this in just a moment here. Down here it says, if you received an image from an earlier discussion today, it was likely provided by a different AI tool or system, which of course is not the case. I was using Gemini. So again, in this case, Gemini is lying to me right there because I know it can create images, and it did create an image. And it goes on to say, I am an AI language model designed for generating and processing text. I am unable to produce visual content. So I don't know why it's saying that, but there you go. So I just took this further, and I asked if there had been any change in here, and it gave me lots of reasons why some things may have changed, and maybe the model has changed. It's just a lot of blah, 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 which is supporting its position that it cannot make images, which of course I still know is wrong because I just did one this morning. So I thought, well, maybe if I turn off my VPN, sometimes VPNs can cause problems. Now it said a VPN can affect the ability if I was not in the US, but I'm in the US and I use a US-based server. So according to this, that shouldn't be a problem. But even so, it wasn't going to let me have my image. So I turned off the VPN right down here and said, let's test this. Can you give me a generic portrait of a 30-year-old video game player? So I'm asking for an image. And it says, which response is more helpful? And it gives me 2 responses down here. And I found this amazingly humorous. Let's just scroll down. And there we go. Left side, it gave me an image, like I knew it could. Right side, it says right here, as I explained earlier, I cannot create images. I'm a language model. And there's the image it created, left-hand side. So a perfect example of how you won't necessarily get actual truth in the answers that you get from Gemini or ChatGPT or any one of these different AI tools. In this case, not a big deal. It took me a little while to get around to getting an image out of them. And the image is a little bit wrong because, of course, he's looking over here and his monitors are back there. But again, I think this is an important thing to always keep in the back of your mind. Whenever you're using AI, if you're trying to get information out of it, you have to double check that information because, as it says right down here, Gemini can make mistakes, so double check it. And this is a perfect example right there. It says it can't make an image, and here's an image. Okay, I'll get back to the video I was planning on doing for the next video I put up, and I'll show you how to get that avatar portrait. But for now, I think this really points out a very good thing to, again, keep in mind about AI. Always take whatever it says in here with a grain of salt. Most of the time, the information you get is going to be wonderful and very useful. Sometimes it may be completely flat out wrong. The real problem with this is this whole AI bit, artificial intelligence. The real problem is that this is artificial. It's not intelligent. It never has been intelligent. It never will be intelligent. So it can't make those judgment calls on things. And it has no common sense. You'll have to use your common sense on whether or not to accept whatever it is that it's saying. Again, most of the time, I'd say 95% of the time, it's great, but that 5% does sneak in there and you may get a false answer. Okay, so till next time, make sure you hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. And in my next video, I'll show you how to make that avatar portrait for your best customer avatar. And I'll see you next time.